All righty, guys, what is going on? Welcome to episode 10, Marketing Magic. I'm here with my pal Greg. Greg, how's it going?
Hey, doing well.
Good stuff. It's Friday. It's nice here up in Canada. Greg said it's cloudy there, so
Yeah.
um, that's too bad. But it's always a good Friday when we get to chat marketing and e-commerce and all this stuff. So we got a few different things today. What do you want to run with first?
I don't care. Hold on. There we go. I'm turning off the fancy background. It was getting all glitchy. Let's talk about your first topic idea, Amazon versus Shopify. This is
Yeah,
so many people get caught up on this, and so then what they end up doing is both. And I think that's the wrong answer out of the gate. So let's talk about it because
yeah.
I've done both. I know you've definitely done Shopify. I don't know if you've been on Amazon before.
I sold a few I sold a few disinfectant wipes at the beginning of COVID on Amazon.
Nice.
That was my Amazon experience. And then I think they didn't ban me or something, but I tried to. They started cracking down on what you could what is it like you have to like unlock seller like abilities or something.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to prevent people like me, I think, from gouging people for random household items.
I sold three overpriced cases of N95 masks, and then that ended very quickly as well.
Dude, what a crazy time. That's probably another whole topic right there. But anyways, I've sold like literally like two items on Amazon. So I have very little experience, but this is actually interesting and timely because I'm literally in the midst of doing my due diligence there to properly launch my brand on Amazon very soon. So this is good.
Cool. Yeah. Well, for context, I've used both. I've probably sold over $1 million on Amazon total. But when I tell you how long I've been selling on Amazon, you'll realize that that's actually not that impressive.
Hmm.
So I've used Amazon as a tool, it's a tool in the toolkit, but I've never maybe this is to my detriment, but I've never really gone all in on it like some folks do. I know plenty of people that can do more in a couple months than I've done in 10 years on Amazon. But I know the opportunities there. But at the same time, I mean, you're on Shopify and you've done pretty well so far. I've
Yep.
also got Shopify experience. So yeah, let's jump into that. Let's talk about the pros and cons. And if somebody's just starting out, what questions should they be asking themselves to make a good decision? Because I don't think it's always the case that you should always do one or the other. There's actually some pieces that go into that decision.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think that's great. And I want to paint this like I I thought that maybe there was just a right way before, and I don't think that anymore. I think there's different ways. And I used to kind of wonder why someone like Brian would not push Amazon, but usually default to launching on Amazon.com. And I was kind of like, oh, but like, what about your website and what about your email marketing? Because I love that stuff. But I like what you said about what are the questions to ask to make the right decision for that. Because the reality is, um, I'm going to go out and say that there are more skill sets needed to uh, set up and get sales going off Amazon than on Amazon. I think more types of skill sets.
I agree. I think here's what it comes down to. And you just touched on it. The number one limitation, the number one bottleneck for most people who want to start selling something is the traffic, right? Where do the eyeballs come from that we're putting our product in front of? So here, my idea for how to make this decision is based solely on that.
Mhm.
And I would say if you are going to enter the market with a product that already has organic search volume on Amazon, then you should consider Amazon. Meaning, people are already typing in the type of product that you're going to offer, And so there's existing traffic. All you need to do is tap into that traffic, basically by ranking for keywords, using some PPC. And then, of course, you can really juice that with some off Amazon traffic strategies that you and I both know. But if you can tap into, it's like putting a what's that called? The thing next to a river where the
Yeah,
wheel
yeah,
spins. What that watermill, is that what it's called?
yeah,
Watermill.
I think so.
When there's already a big rushing river of traffic for your types of products, all you need to do is just dip your toe into that traffic. Like your brand is a watermill sitting there, and you tap in that traffic and it gets cranking,
Mhm.
right? That makes a ton of sense. There is very little organic search traffic on Amazon, then there's nothing to tap into, right? Meaning you've got to bring the traffic anyways. And so if you got to bring the traffic, which is effort, there's a skill set to figure out. But if you're going to all the effort to develop the skill set to bring the traffic, what exactly are you paying Amazon to do, right? They're going to do some fulfillment for you, whatever. Like you can 3PL that. Um, and then if you set up Shopify, do an off Amazon channel, and you're bringing the traffic, the benefit is that you get all the customer data too, right? That's the huge benefit of being off Amazon, is getting that customer data, because then you can do remarketing, follow up, and really that's where the ultimate profitability and value of the brand is. So, like, to summarize, if you're just getting started and you've got a product that people are already looking for, Amazon can shortcut a lot of stuff for you because you don't have to figure out traffic as much. Like, fewer things to figure out, meaning you've got a better chance of going faster.
Mhm.
But if this is something where you've got to generate traffic anyways, then develop the full stack skill set and go off Amazon, because once you get everything figured out, then you can crank fast, right? Remarketing to all the same people who have already purchased.
Mhm.
And then once you have, well, like there's people who have done this. They create their own market off Amazon, and then, months later, years later, they launch on Amazon, and it's easy because now there is search traffic, and all the search traffic is for their brand name.
Yep.
That's easier to tap into than trying to, rank for some really, really competitive high volume search terms that everybody else can dive into. If the search volume is for your brand name, you can pretty much own that on day one if you play your cards right.
Yep. Awesome. I think boiling it right down, if getting up and running is a barrier or something that's overwhelming to you, being able to just take sales on Amazon is a huge advantage, because you can start putting up those wins maybe in an easier way than if you're trying to drive traffic to your website. And then along with that, Amazon has built in conversion optimization rate, right? It's not all on you, even on the listing. It's templated basically because they know what works. So there's some of that landing page stuff that's just taken out, which is just another one of those skill sets that we talked about. So I like that. What I have shifted on a little bit, and I'm in that boat of okay, trying to build some of this. Not that there wasn't any demand on Amazon, but trying to build a little bit more of my or connect with my market off Amazon, and control more of that customer journey, which can build that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Which maybe depends on your brand as well. You obviously always want to be building connection, but if it's something that you want more control over, whether that be through kind of education, emotional connection, building rapport, you can do that, email being that obvious channel that you get to do a
Mm-hmm.
little more of that nurturing with. But so I used to think though that Amazon was not, what am I saying? I think I was naive as to just how powerful a platform it was, even though I quotes like knew how powerful it was. But what I've been reflecting on is how much I go there myself, how easy it is to buy, um, how fast it's still growing, I believe, and just starting to hear just kind of some staggering numbers around like what volume can actually be done on that platform is pretty wild. So that kind of actually bridges into like one of the other topics I had, which was even like some limiting beliefs around business and specifically numbers, because I think that's just I think it's a huge thing that I still am trying to break through. Like you see some products and they have like 40,000 reviews. Like what does that mean in terms of how many items they're selling? So I think just like Amazon can maybe help to I don't know. You don't want to get overwhelmed, but it can open the door to just the size of these markets.
Yeah.
I actually want to circle back just quickly before I forget this though. One thing I just want to like highlight from before what you said is yes, there can already be traffic on Amazon, but I think be careful about falling into like the copycat, what's being searched mindset, because it's a fine line between is there traffic here for the brand I'm trying to build, or am I just trying to rank number two for spatulas because
Yeah.
there's selling. So just to circle back to that.
Yeah, totally. The temptation, like when you get, so yeah, Amazon can help you get some fast traction, but then the temptation is to just become an Amazon seller, right? Where
Mhm.
you only care about keyword rank and you're you're forced to always be paying attention to what everyone else in your space is doing, which is very, very destructive for creativity, in my opinion, because you see somebody else make a pivot or come out with a new product or change up their messaging, or all of a sudden they're gaining key rank. And instead of thinking about, hey, what should I do next to serve my customers? Right? Instead of playing offense, it makes you play a bunch of defense. You're like, oh no, what did they just do? Oh no, I wonder if I should do this. Like you're the customer that you're serving becomes your own fear about losing what you have to somebody else, right? It turns into this scarcity mindset. You view you view competitors as competitors. They're taking a piece of your pie. And again, very destructive mindset. And that does not spur growth, right? It spurs stagnation and burnout and gradual decline, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to play on Amazon, you need to realize that it's just a tool, it's just a sales channel, but your brand needs to be a thing that exists with or without
Yes.
Amazon, right? So yeah, we use it to get some sales, to get some revenue. And I'm not telling people to get some money in from Amazon and then go launch on Shopify and try to focus over there. Like the point is, even if you're not doing the whole D2C thing on Shopify and just like building out that whole system that you totally control, you still have to have a place that you control off of Amazon where you can do some of that cultivation and relationship building and really like that is where you can demonstrate why you're different, right?
Yep.
It's where you can differentiate yourself as a brand instead of just differentiating yourself as a product.
Yes, that's it right there. And that's where uh another thing that I kind of looked at Amazon again and I was like, well, if you can differentiate yourself as a brand, Amazon's only an upside. It can only amplify that and help more people to find you and buy you more easily. Um, and and that's a massive plus. So that's where I started thinking instead of, oh, I'm going to cannibalize customers or I'm going to lose out on email addresses because I'm not on Amazon. Now I just think of it as, oh my gosh, this opportunity for people to access my brand that I'm not utilizing yet and that I can utilize. But there's a
Yeah.
big difference between that and going on there and thinking, how can I make a product that competes with this traffic for other established players? Because that's just, yeah, it's a poor mindset to start out with. It's an easy
Mhm.
trap to fall into, but it's, yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, it doesn't lead to
And
growth. And
I think that's great. I'm gonna make one more point here because the downside to Amazon is we don't really have that customer data, right? And we can do things like insert cards. Um, there are some ways where we can maybe get some of that data on the back end, but it's very, very low take rate. And a lot of people get frustrated. They're like, oh, I made 100 sales and I only got 3 email addresses out of it on the back end. But my friend Jason, who pretty good on Amazon. I'm not going to say his numbers, but if you know, you know. Um, he framed this up differently for me. He's like, when I sell 100 units on Amazon, I make about $3,000 and I get about 3 emails. So he's like, the way I view it is not that I lost 97 emails. He's like, no, no, no. I got paid $3,000 to collect 3 emails.
I love
It's
that.
profitable customer acquisition. It's just very slow customer acquisition, right? But if you reframe that, and if you do have, again, that off-platform way to be getting customer data, to be building audience and all that stuff, and like that's a whole other topic. If you can do that on the side, then that and Amazon can work synergistically. And like you can be building audience, but still take all your sales on Amazon, but have some of the Amazon people trickle back into the audience. Like that's something that it takes a little effort to set up and get going. But the people who do that kill it on Amazon versus other people, right? Instead of just using PPC and like discounts and whatever to drive keyword rank. I mean, we both mutually know people who have an email list of a couple hundred or a couple thousand people. They launch on Amazon and they're like #1 new release within 2 weeks. They've got 100 5-star reviews within 2 months. And everybody on Amazon around them is looking at them being like, what is going on? Like, what kind of shenanigans is this person pulling? But they're just bringing traffic that they own
Mhm.
onto the platform. So again, the decision between Amazon and Shopify, I think it comes down to what's your plan for traffic,
Mhm.
but really you need to have some sort of owned audience plan either way, right? You got to
Yep.
be building your own customer list because ultimately that is the value of your business, right? To be able to click a button and generate tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on demand, that is the control that a lot of people are after when they even, hey, I want to start a business. I want to make money while I'm sleeping, whatever. Like the real power is when you control your audience, you control your customer base, and you can click a button and turn that into revenue at will.
Yep. Yep. 100%. Um, I just one final question on this. What is the halo type effect on Amazon? Like, what has your experience been with, um, I guess, even their algorithm? Do reviews start to create more recommendations by Amazon and search volume, or not search volume, discoverability? Um, is most of that based off keyword research or how much traffic you bring? Can you just
Yeah,
comment on that?
it's a good question. So none of it is technically known, right? The way the algorithm works is top secret, but you can observe things. And there are companies that have a ton of data about this. And generally what is believed is that the thing that affects keyword rank the most is sales, right? So if you make a bunch of sales through a keyword, then you rank higher for that keyword and you show higher in the search results. The way that you get more sales is by having a high conversion rate on your listing. So good images, your title and keywords and description need to be, there's an SEO component to this, right? You need keywords in your listing, but it also has to be decent copy for a human being to read. And then of course the number of reviews that you have and the ranking of reviews impact conversion rate significantly. So there are some pretty big inflection points, right? If you have 0 reviews, conversion rate will not be great. When you have 10 reviews and then when you have 100 and then 500 and then 1,000, there oftentimes there's a conversion rate jump at each one of those. And so more reviews is always better because it helps you to make the additional sale, which helps you to raise your rank one more unit, right? And then, I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to. You need to generate as many sales as possible and get as many reviews as possible. And that is the engine that improves your conversion rate over time, which makes your ads more profitable. That's basically how it works.
Cool. Well, maybe we'll do a little case study action in the coming months where I go from 0 to 1 million a month on Amazon, and we'll
That'd be
share.
awesome. We should document that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm excited. We'll start from scratch. I have some outside momentum, but some of this is all new to me as well,
Mhm.
and it'll be exciting for sure.
Cool.
So that's that's solid. What do we got next?
Oh man. Limiting beliefs.
That was kind of, yeah, and that was kind of a vague one, but the reason I put it in is because it's been hitting me really hard over the past couple of weeks as I just reflect and kind of um uh in some cases have conversations where I wish I could download beliefs into another person and I can't.
Mhm.
And I also wish I could have done that to myself sooner.
Yeah.
Um, but I can't. And I just think it's a really uh massive factor in whether or not people uh achieve the success that they want to, or make progress, or
Mhm.
achieve their goals. And so it's a vague one, but I think as long as I am deeming it like a massive factor in my own entrepreneurial journey, I'm going to keep highlighting it and calling it out
Yeah.
for other people. And Alex
Do you have
Ramosi,
one in particular that you want to call out right now? Like one in particular that has been showing up for you or that you've seen a lot in others?
yes, yes, and it's essentially that you can't learn certain things for a certain reason. Um, that's still broad. It's assuming that um, the thing that you want to do um, is is a lot more than a new set of skill sets, like of little skill sets. It's assuming that there's a reason outside of skills and execution that so and so has achieved something, and that's the reason you can't do it.
Mm.
How do we make this even more specific? It's assuming that the person who has the YouTube channel that may not even be that big, that is starting to gain some momentum, it's assuming that they have an ingredient that excludes you for
Mm.
some unknown reason, but enough of a reason that it's not worth you pursuing that opportunity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And uh, that one has been hitting me especially hard because I've been trying to kind of go in and break down first what those beliefs might be, which sometimes are as simple as, without any definition, without any rationalization, I've just decided that I can't do something, and there's actually no reason. It's just that was the reason in my head,
Mhm.
and going in and starting to say, well, what would it look like for me to do this? Have I executed it on any of the things that would start to make it likely? Have I even suspended my disbelief enough to see if there even is any evidence at all for the belief that I can't do something? I love content as an example for this. So me and a friend, I've already started just doing it, playing around, but a limiting belief has kind of been that I can't create valuable content online, which is really bizarre because I've already had feedback to let me know that that is not the case
Mhm.
in a small level. But that's been one, whether it's YouTube or content videos, and that's been one where I've been especially almost like just getting curious, where I'm like, why would I believe that? And then what can I do to um not only sort of dismantle that, but give myself proof that it's not the case. So yeah, me and a friend have decided to really pursue the skill set of short form content and what makes it perform well, kind of
Mhm.
as just a mission to defy this limiting belief.
Nice.
So that's
Nice.
kind of a specific, boiling it down to how can you make that, how can you make a change
Yeah.
out of that?
That's awesome. Hey, I think that's really important. And um, everybody at the beginning has a lot of limiting beliefs, but the dirty secret is that if you overcome them, then you'll end up with others. And as you continue to grow, you're still held back by your limiting beliefs. And then ego and status and identity it's like one of my limiting beliefs as you're talking about this, like it's difficult for me to learn new things in public because I have this idea that, oh, there are people who perceive me as an expert in topic X.
Mm.
Therefore, if I jump into topic Y as a beginner and struggle, that will diminish how they view me or how they think of me,
Mm-hmm.
which is baloney,
Mm-hmm.
right? I can go
Yep.
into topic Y as a beginner, and if I simply share the fact, hey guys, I'm going to test this new thing, I suck, like I'm at ground zero, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to learn it and I'm going to teach it back to you. And let's like I'm going to figure out what the levers are, what the needle movers are, and you can watch me in real time fall on my face, right? So that you don't have to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like the fear of getting started is falling on your face in public. What
Yeah.
will people think? So if you're willing to spearhead that and be like, hey, I am willing to fall on my face in public for you, like I'll do the failing for you and then tell you what works and what doesn't work, and then you can be a step behind and avoid all that embarrassment. Like that's actually very powerful,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And yeah, it's funny. So I've my wife and I have been discussing some new brand and product ideas for the last 2 years. And guess how many things we've launched? Zero. Because we've come up with these different ideas and we'll talk about it and she's like, "Well, hey, what about this?" And then I list all the reasons why it won't work. But she started to challenge me. She's like, "Well, wait a minute, what about this? What if we did that?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, 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 wait." And then what I'm discovering in listening to myself talk is that I'm just coming up with excuses. There's some perfectionism tied in. And it is like I have all these limiting beliefs that I'm not aware of until I start verbalizing it. So I
Mm-hmm.
think for anybody who either knows that they struggle with this or feels constrained in what they're trying to do, like they may not be aware of these beliefs, but it's really
Yeah.
important that you have someone to talk to just like brain dump ideas and get some like somebody who's going to call you out when you're BSing,
Yep.
right? Like, and my wife does that to me, and
Yeah.
it's great. Like every once in a while, the conversation gets a little tense. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, no, this is the stuff I know. I do it all day, and then like 24 hours later, I'm like, you know what? I'm full
Yeah.
of crap. Like you're absolutely right. Like I just realized you just broke open a huge idea and could do X, Y, Z. So,
Yeah.
um, so I'm in the process right now of I've got a couple things that I am developing.
Love
So
it.
I've got like 1 to 3 product ideas, and just it's very liberating. Like I know like I still have a little bit of resistance because of a couple reasons, and I'm just gonna like say screw it, plow forward. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad you brought up that topic because it's something that's top of mind for me right now for sure.
Yeah. And I love what you said about find a person. Hopefully, you've got someone who you could have a conversation with, at least write it down. But think about it this way: what do I want to do? And then write down all the reasons you can't do it that are coming up. And it's like those are the ones that you need to challenge and are potentially just BS limiting beliefs that are kind of excuses, which is not a good reason to not bring those new ideas out or those new products, whatever they are. So that's a that's a biggie. Well, I'm excited, man. I look forward to seeing what those might be. And I'm doing the same thing. And it's like you said, you identify new ones. There was one where I had a friend challenge me on why I don't have a simple kind of cadence for starting to produce short form content to drive traffic for my brand organically. And I had a bunch of reasons. And when I was pushed on that, they were kind of BS. So I'm in the same boat as well. So I'm sure some people out there can relate to that, and hopefully this is a little boost for them to get going with it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, that's a wrap there. I don't know if we got anything to link up. Oh, bonus. bonus surprise. At the end of the episode, I am going to Capcom, so I'm going to see you there. Yes,
Right on, dude.
I was able to
That's
kind of
great.
pull some strings, bit of a change in some plans, but I'm fired up. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's coming up fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, if you can, if you're listening to this and you're wondering about it, heck of an event, and it's going to be a good time. So we'll just link it below and you can check it out.
Awesome. So good.
Alrighty, peace out, guys. Boom.